So working with rhythm in music is actually very, very easy as long as we can get the idea of a beat into our head and then measure out all the sounds that we're playing in terms of those beats. So if the beat is going really quickly, sounds are going to happen very fast. So a 4-beat note when the beat is very quick will be a lot shorter than a 4-beat note if the beat is going really, really slowly. Now, when we want to talk to other people about the lengths of notes they're playing, it would be quite useful if we had a good way of explaining to them what we mean. I mean, we could just say, oh, well, please play a 4-beat note followed by a 2-beat note followed by a 1-beat note, and just use the numbers of beats. But actually, that might become a little bit confusing and a little bit difficult after a while. So we've got some special names that we generally use to talk to each other about the lengths of sounds that we're playing in a particular piece of music, and that's what we're going to have a look at in this lesson. So I've still got my graph of 16 beats here, and I'm going to draw in a sound that's going to last for 4 beats. So I'm going to start on beat number 1, and I'm going to draw a sound out that lasts for 4 beats. Now, the special name that we have for a 4-beat note is a whole note. So any note that lasts for 4 beats in the music, we can call that a whole note. And anyone you were talking to would know that that's going to last for 4 beats in the music. Now imagine that we wanted to play a note that was shorter than that, so we wanted to have a rest here. We'll have a rest for 2 beats, and then we will play a note that starts on the 7th beat of our little graph here and goes for 2 beats. If you've got a note that lasts for 2 beats, that's called a half note. So it's very much a case of dividing this whole note into smaller fractions. So if you're good at fractions, you'll be really good at remembering the names of the different note lengths that we can have. So this is a half note. And finally, if we say wanted another 2 beats of nothingness, so we've got 2 beats of silence here, and we're going to put in another note starting on the 11th beat, say. I'm sure you'll be able to guess. There's no prizes for guessing what a 1-beat note is called. We call that a quarter note because we're splitting the whole note up into 4 quarters. And it makes sense to use these names that are about fractions and about splitting things up, because if we think about it, we can fit them in these sort of relationships. So we've got this whole note here, and a whole note will split up into 2 half notes. So we can fit 2 half notes lasting 2 beats each into the same amount of time it would take us to play 1 whole note lasting 4 beats. And we can split the half notes up even further. We can split those half notes that last for 2 beats up into 2 1-beat sounds. Let's try that here. Like so. And we're now down to a level where we've got 4 quarter notes. And those would make up the same amount of time as either 2 half notes or 1 whole note. And this makes it so much easier when we want to talk to people about the rhythms that they're playing. So you might say, oh, I really liked that thing you were doing with the quarter notes, and that would mean that they were obviously doing something interesting with sounds that lasted for 1 beat. And the reason that it's so helpful is it doesn't matter whether the beat is going quickly or slowly. You can have very fast music and you can have very slow music, but it's all built on the foundation of how many beats the sounds are lasting for. And so if the beat is really quick, then a whole note, 4 beats, will seem like no time at all, because it'll just go beat, 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 off. And that's the end of your whole note. Equally, if you have a really slow beat that's going tick, 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 a sound that's a whole note sound, so it lasts for 4 beats, will seem like ages and ages and ages because the beat is going so very, very slowly. Now, of course, there might be some times when we want to play sounds that last for a shorter period of time in the music than 1 whole beat. And we have a few names for some of those, and that's what we'll have a look at next.